Hi, my peeps. Welcome to part 2 of my Rose Theory series. It's about magic and angels. My name is Jennifer Rose. I'm a spirituality coach, and there's two things that I have going on in YouTube. One is my 10-week Transform You program, and that is for people that are just looking to heal their minds. So if you've come to here and you're just looking to heal your mind, then go back to the 10-week Transform You. That's the right spot for you. This Rose Theories is more for the people that are curious about spirituality, universal truths, any question to pose, and I will give my answer in that. Now, that being said, Rose Theory is not everyone's truth. It is what I've come to know as my truth. But this is all about giving you the information and you taking it and doing something with it. Having your own curiosity and your own sense of discovery when it comes to your spirituality. So today I want to do a couple of things. One, I want to talk about value because we're working on the 10-week Transform You. So I think there's some tie-ins, especially with this video. Two, we're talking about magic, seeing magic in the world that we live in. Three, going over the angels, finding out what the angels are doing in our world through my story. And four is summing it up of why I'm putting this particular video out on YouTube. So let's start with value. I don't know about you, but there are fighters out there. Maybe you are a fighter. You're fighting for your marriage, you're fighting for your children, maybe you're fighting for your country, maybe you're fighting for kids you don't know, maybe you're fighting for people's human rights, maybe you're fighting for people to eat, get clothed, whatever it is, but you are fighting. And sometimes when you are fighting, you are unseen or it's a thankless job. I want to say in Value Week is that you are valued and you are seen, even if you don't recognize what you're doing is making a difference, but it is. A small wave in a pond still makes a wave. So keep fighting, and I hope everything that I give you to the fighters out there, I hope it works for you, because a fighter at full capacity will change the world. We can change the world, even if it just starts with our own world. So to all of you that are fighting out there, all the men and women that are doing their best in this world to make it a better place for all the rest of us, I say today in this video, thank you. Thank you for fighting. Thank you for not giving up. And one of the quotes I say is, strong does not mean we're not brought low. It's just we choose every day not to stay there. So keep fighting. It's worth it. Don't give up. You are seen. And the part that is wonderful is yesterday, I really had a day where one of my biggest hurdles is in childhood not being seen. And that hurt still comes up every once in a while of just like we just talked about, not being seen or valued, or maybe it's like you feel like it's a thankless job. So yesterday, I, just feeling melancholy and just, kind of like a little bit down. I mean, my life is freaking like fantastic, but it got to me. And as I've stated in a lot of my videos, if you have the feels, you have to feel it. You can't positive think your way out of it. You just have to let the feelings come, because if the feelings come, then they can go and they don't stay. So anyway, I go on a date with my husband, feeling my little melancholy, and then we go to a restaurant in Lake Mills, the Grist, and I order, my favorite thing was on the menu, so I ordered it, and they came and like, oh, we don't have that. And I'm like, oh, I'm so bummed. And 2 seconds later, I am not kidding you, the chef comes out and says, can I make you a meal? What would you like? What kind of pasta would you like? What kind of vegetables do you like? And I'm like, I'd take anything. I'd be very happy. And that chef made me one of the most fantastic meals that I've eaten. My husband actually finished the rest of it because it was so good. And that is the magic that we're talking about today. There is magic in this world. Not more than 2 hours ago, in 2023, I had a spiritual experience. Is why you're here, why you want to hear my story, why I'm in this location. And I ran into a lady that was at the halfway house that I went into after my mental breakdown. The sweetest lady. I ran into her today before making this video. And that was a gift of me being able to say thank you to her, because without her being there and her love and support and her honesty and her books that she gave me as a gift, I would not be sitting here making these videos for you as my gift to everyone else that I hope I help. So there is magic in this world. But just like a magician, you're trying to figure out how he did it, how she did it. And at the end of the day, that's the thing, is maybe you don't want to know how it happens. You're just so blessed that it happened. That is why gratitude is my first habit. Is have gratitude. Have whatever belief system you have, God, universe, God, whatever it is, to have gratitude for these things that are in your life. And if you have transformational gratitude, you will see, even in the bad moments, how it's still magic, how it happens. So going into our subject of the day is angels. Now, when we think of angels, we have very angelic creatures that come in and help at a moment's notice. I have one story that I flew off a mountain. I was working in Leeds, South Dakota at the Silverado Casino. I was coming down the mountain. It was very icy. I flew off the mountain. There was a huge log truck coming, just missed me. There happened to be snow on the ground, so I didn't fly down the mountain. And this car stopped, and it was like a green like a family vehicle. And I remember every detail of that night, but not my rescuer. Maybe an angel came and picked me up because it was very icy that night and it was winter and nobody would have seen me. But that person stopped and got me home, got me safe. And I can't remember my rescuer's face, not even if they were male or female. So we do have angels among us that are helping us in our everyday, but we don't recognize it or we don't know it because, you know, they might look just like you. And so this is the images that we have. We also have the images of the different kinds of angels that we have. You know, cherubs, archangels, regular angels, seraphims, whatever they are, but we have a lot. They're in books. They're in movies. They're in children's books. They're in religious pictures, descriptions, scriptures. So angels have been around a long time. You could say that angels in general are think about as like people that don't believe in the supernatural will accept angels more than they will accept any other thing because it's just been in our culture for so long. I think the word angel showed up in 1150 BC in some old English book. So they've been around a long time. So they're known. Most people accept that the possibility that they are real, that we just can't see them and they do something for us. But again, that going back to that value of that, you know, valuing things that we can't see, just like us when we're fighting for ourselves, fighting for others, fighting for whatever it is, you know, it goes unseen, and so does their work goes unseen. So my experience, and I've listened to like a lot of near-death experiences, are very beautiful, I guess is the word. And not to say that mine wasn't beautiful in its own way, but it was also a terrifying and unreal, obviously, experience, because I was not thrown in this angelic light, you know, see your past life kind of thing. I was thrown into I was researching a lot of this before I made this video. And if you've heard of the Dead Sea Scrolls, in the scrolls itself, it has what it's called the War Scrolls, which is the sons of light against the sons of darkness, that this battle that is going on, that it's unseen. Well, that is what I got thrown into. And they also have like the sword of Moses, where God chose to wield the weapon of being able to command the angelic army. And that is what I was able to do. And how unreal that is, because you're getting thrust. I will give you an idea. So you could say this is the angelic realm, right? Clear. You can see my hand, you know, it's a little bit blurry, but in general, you can see what's going on. This is our world. We are blind to the things that might be like right next to us. We, you could say, are dumped. And you can't see the blue guy at all. That's why a lot of my videos are about seeing. Because seeing is believing, believing is knowing, knowing is the magic and the beauty of life that we all have. But first we have to see first. So now you're taking the blue guy, which is me, and you throw him in the angelic side. But here's the difference. I'm in both. I can see what's going on the other end, on the unseen realm, but I can also see what's going on in the real world. So I'm immersed into this experience where I can see the dark and I can see the light. And I'm commanding this angelic army. And I would say that if you've ever had, had a match or a lighter, and I bought a lighter specifically for this today. And these videos that I make are all off the cuff. I mean, I think about what I'm going to say or how I'm going to say it, but I make these videos and I know that what I bring to the table, what I say is meant to be said, and what I don't say is not meant to be said. So you're getting my intuitive nature, like a direct communication from my spirit to your spirit. So when I saw the angels, so if you watch the soul origins on part 1, we find out where we are with the tree of life. Half a person to a whole person to this is you. Like, where are you in this soul origin? So I get thrust into this experience. And if you watch that video, you can see what my soul origin is. And now I'm into, most of my experience in the beginning was through the phone. So a show was connected to me and I could see what was going on their end. Now, they couldn't see what I could see going on in the phone. And for the most part, as I've stated, most people don't get what I was seeing or even have a comprehension. And, looking at it, I can totally see that. I would probably 99% not believe them. I would try to understand. But I also get the fact that most people are this. How are they going to see this when they're in this? They're not, So I don't have any expectations of even any of you that are watching this to believe my story. But there's a reason that I'm saying this, because God, or whoever you believe in, is fighting for us. And this is what I saw in the phone. when I was doing this military campaign against the dark side of the unseen realm. It was like a living golden flame. That's what they look like. They had arms and legs, but no definitive features. And when they moved across the ground, it was just like super fast, like this, just lightning just can go. They had a portal or something that they were coming in and going, and I would be able to pinpoint where that dark side entity was and be able to give them direction on where to go. And this phone thing, there was the first interaction that night, and then for the next 3 or 4 days, all of it was through the phone. And then on the 5th day, that whatever was on the other end now came into my yard, came into right outside my door. And I was fighting the dark side, like literally right outside my car. And God was with me the whole time. And so were the angels, and it was a telepathic, so they could communicate with me, and I saw things visually. I be able to hear things telepathically. And when the dark side, when I was fighting the dark side, I don't know if you've ever gone through like during fall and the weeds are all like really hard and you almost like a rose's bush, you get your legs get kind of scraped. That's what it felt like. They were that close, and they couldn't hurt me, but I could definitely tell that they were there. And I don't want to go into too much details about that, but I do want you to know you have nothing to fear. When I explain my side of what I believe the dark side is, if you look at me, I have no fear of that there. It is not because you're wicked. It's not because you sin. It's not because of any of that. It is because of something that I will go into details next week. But today it's about those angels, God, whoever you believe in, are fighting for us. To find value in the fact that maybe you have a bad day, but people are fighting for you. Beings are fighting for you. That is most of the reason why I'm doing this, is because I want God and those angels to get credit for what they're doing. Even if I am slammed and saying, who do you think you are? I don't care. My own family doesn't believe me. So it's not like I'm expecting you to believe me. But what I want to do is for people to start waking up from living in this existence and start coming over to the other side. And yes, it's going to be murky. But as we fill it in with more love, compassion, understanding, and for the most part, us first, and then whoever else is affected because you start to clear out your water, I can tell you it helps the people around you. When you start to heal, you start to heal the environment around you. So this is what I'm seeing over the phone for 4 days. So the 5th day comes to my back door, fighting all night. Finally leave. I talk about what happens on the next day in my elemental video. And then I come to this location. I don't know. And this is weird because I have not come to this place in 2 years. I haven't even retraced my steps. So I come into this location because this is where, in the video, when God and the angels were fighting the dark side, they made a cyclone, like a tornado, and it was built with love. And I had a part in that too. And so we built this light, and all of the dark, it's like a moth to a flame, right? All attracted to the light, and they would just come into this light. And I will tell you next week what happened to them. But so they would come into this light, and so we just kept fighting. And I kept saying, night after being alone, I felt like, who's gonna rescue me? Like, is this gonna end? And now I understand, like, not everybody could be part of this experience. Not everybody would step up to the plate and fight for 9 days in a cause that you knew nothing about, that you got thrust upon you, but you never gave up. You never gave up. Because even if no one else believed you, you know that if God thrust you into an experience, is because he trusted you to be there and do what you needed to do. So now it's night 5, and I end up in this location, probably going into night 6. And I am not sitting in this parking lot. I actually tried to find my location that I was before, and I can see it. There was a tower next to me. I was sitting on top of the hill. I was looking down to this location, and it was in a residential neighbor behind me. Like every detail of it, even the way the grass looked, but it's not there. The location that I was at is not there. So I don't know where I was, space, time. We'll get into maybe that video later down the road. But right here is where what I saw on the phone of this like cyclone tornado of light was here in this exact location. And all the lights turned on, and they were meant to attract the dark. And in doing so, it was a fight all night. And I saw this amazing thing now, not over the phone, but in person. And again, this is why I'm doing this, because the amazing things that these angelic beings were doing for us, what God was doing for us, is to fight that which we can't see at all. And maybe through making these videos, by doing this 10-week Transform You, I can be able to make their job a little bit easier, which I'll talk about next week. But it was incredible. And I sat there on that hill and overlooking this amazing sight. And it was magic. Like, it was awe-inspiring. It was war. It was a battle. It was a battle we were winning. But at the same time, it humbled you. And I just started praying that night, looking at what I was seeing in front of me. I was praying for all of the people that have ever been to war, that are suffering because they saw stuff that they should have never seen. I prayed for anyone that's been abused in any way. I prayed for peace, for, countries to, not want things but help people. And so I just kept praying that night, being able to see something so awe-inspiring, and then wanting to, in a way, whatever I could do in that moment, to bring about a message of hope and love and peace. And so that is why I am doing this, and this is why I'm putting this out there, is because I think in order for all of us to transform, in order for all of us to start, getting out of here, to start seeing clearly the magic and the beauty that is our life, then we can start to appreciate every single day. Because I don't know if you believe in reincarnation or not, but that is the reason people keep coming down here. Is because you cannot gain knowledge unless you've had an experience. And my experience in 2023 led me to doing everything that I'm doing for free, primarily, and to thank God for my life after this experience that was beautiful, terrifying, magical, scary, heart-wrenching, and immersing myself into a mental hospital and a halfway house, God giving me everything that I have back. To making this video for you today, I just want to give thanks. And that's why I'm doing this. To God, to the angels, to anybody out there, human, that's fighting for us in battles we don't even know about. Because hopefully someday we can bring about peace in this world. And I know, myself included, it seems impossible. But what I saw was impossible. You finding me on YouTube, a needle in a haystack, somebody that doesn't even know about SEO optimization hashtags, but you found me and you're listening to this right now. That is possible. It's like, it's like a connection that we're all these like beautiful butterflies. And when we take our butterfly and we just connect to each other and see that we're human and that we are all in this loop together. And I know it seems like we're all disconnected and we're all in a different page, but remember this, not all of us and most of us will make it out of here. But maybe if you're watching this and you choose to take the 10-week Transform You program, you choose to, yes, start off with some murky water, but you're choosing to see the truth. You're valuing yourself enough to fight for you, to fight for your peace, to fight for your joy, to fight to handle anything that comes after you, to you, and start seeing the things that are fighting for you each and every day. Like when we started off and I told you about that dinner and that chef coming out and making me a meal. I've had more instances where I've shown up to things, like seeing that lady that helped me at the halfway house today, not more than 2 hours ago. That was a gift. Our life is a gift. So thank you to the angels. Thank you to all beings that we cannot see, human or otherwise, that are fighting for you. And thank you to the one I believe in, which is God. And you can insert whoever that is you believe in. Blessings to all who see this. Take care. Next week, it is moving from the angels to the dark side. Because I can tell you, even though I was fighting a battle, I've morphed into my butterfly, even facing whatever I'm going to face without fear, without shame, without guilt. The weight has lifted off my shoulders. Do I still have my little hiccups? Yes, but they're just that, a hiccup. It's not a full-blown sickness. Talk to you next week. Bye.